Silver's had yet another boring week this week, but there's still something going on behind the scenes. And actually, this week I found more information from our chart that we can use to really deduce how big of a critical point silver is actually at. So let's get into the charts. It's time for another silver update. You can see the weekly chart for silver right here. Now, the big thing I want to point out, of course, price action here is really hard to read, but let's look at that RSI at the bottom, because from last week, you'll remember we talked about there could be a bounce off point right here for silver. And if we get it, this would confirm a trend line on that RSI. Now, this is huge because this is a not even month, but year trend line that we would be following. So, all the way back from 2022, that's crazy. So this would be a really, really big deal if we did get a bounce point here. And let's flip. There you go. As you can see, zoomed in on the RSI right here for that weekly, we did get a small bounce. And of course, you'll see that confirmed by the green candle. So technically, at this point, we do have a trend line. Now let's flip on over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. This is the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, something interesting is playing out because we're coming to a decision point in terms of multiple pennants, not even just one. And you have my green line, my red line, a bunch of yellow lines, of course, those are our supports or resistance levels. But I want you to pay attention to the purple, red, and green line right now. Now let's zoom out right here. Okay, so this is a zoomed out version of that daily. You can see how significant those trend lines are, especially the red one, which we have followed for months and months and months and months. So a break below this point would be massive. And of course, if we go back, let's flip one more time here to that daily. So this zoomed in here. So this shows our EMAs, and you'll notice we're at that 200 EMA level, which is one of the lowest significant EMAs that we have. So all of this combined, guys, just says that this is a major decision point. Now, of course, if we zoom in and kind of follow the timeline on this, we still have the potential for like one more week of boringness or nothing. But at some point here, the market will have to make a decision as to whether we form a new wave going up potentially, or do we break below this and begin a potentially significant bear trend in price action. Now, I'd like to suggest that things are looking good, right? Because we've talked about, we have our daily deliveries for silver. We are up to 9,500 contracts, which each contract is 5,000 ounces of silver being passed around for the month of March alone. That's huge. That tracks along with January. Now, February was a little bit less, but this is a massive amount of silver flowing around the market. And of course, as we've talked about throughout this month, a lot of that has been going to the house or big banks